Hello, Vivian McGrath here from beingunbeatable.com, and in this video I'm going to be talking about the 3 secrets I learnt from men and the 3 secrets that I think they need to get about us too. I'm actually the youngest of 4 girls, and so I had absolutely no idea about boys or men when I gave birth to my firstborn son. I've got 2 boys actually, but when I gave birth to my firstborn son, I had absolutely no idea what I was doing. I was making it up as I went along. I remember when he got to the age where I could put him to stand for the first time in front of a toilet. I was honestly like, what am I supposed to do? Am I supposed to hold it or what? I was flying blind. I've also been married to my beautiful husband now for 30 years this year. And what these 3 gorgeous males, my 2 sons and him, have taught me about men is just, it's been a privilege and honor to learn. Because what I now realize is how 2-dimensional men are. And I swear I mean that in the nicest possible way. And I've also learned how 3-dimensional women are. Read complicated, and how we can just get in our own way. When I first met my husband and started dating him, I was your typical very insecure girl, and I would scan his face to sort of read signs of what he was thinking, what he was feeling. Analyze what his emotions might be and whether I'm still attractive to him and does he love me, does he like me, all that sort of complicated girl emotion head stuff. And when I started to live with him, as soon as he'd walk in the door, I'd jump on him and I'd be sort of talking to him, and if he retreated into his cave even a little bit, I'd be thinking, what's wrong? Have I done something? Have I said something? What's he thinking? What's he feeling? All that kind of stuff. And I now think, my life is a lot less complicated, because back then, there was one time I remember really clearly actually, where he was working really long hours and he wasn't coming home, and I was pregnant with our second child. And when he came home, I'd get very upset and emotional and teary, because I didn't understand. He was very quiet during that time. And I thought he was avoiding me. I thought, it must be me, there's something wrong. And it took him a long time. We actually ended up having arguments and communication completely broke down, and it was a really difficult time. And he eventually, when he came up for air, was able to tell me, I was really stressed at work. He's an architect, and he was in his very early stages of his career, and it was his first management role. And he had taken on this project, and he'd promised way too much, and they were way too understaffed and under budget, and they were pushing against this really difficult deadline. And he was out of his depth, and he was really stressed. He was worried he was failing his job. And he said to me, I thought that I was going to fail you, to look after you, my wife and my child, and we have another baby on the way. And he felt really lacking in self-esteem, and he never articulated that. And I said to him, why didn't you just tell me? Why didn't you just say what was wrong? Because if you had, I would have not thought it was about me, and I could have supported you. And, these sort of arguments repeated themselves over the years. And when he would go in his cave, and we'd have these arguments and not lack of communication between each other over and over and over again, until I learnt the secrets about men, and until he finally got women and me. The secret to men are pretty simple, actually. They're this. These are my 3. 1, there are times when blokes just need to go into their cave. It doesn't mean anything. They just need to go into their cave, kick back their shoes and just be quiet and still, especially when they're stressed. And usually when they get home, they just need to go in there. It's not about us. They just want to sit by the fire and chill and just zone out, because believe it or not, men have a blank space in their head and they need to just go in there. It's not about us. We just need to give them that space. And when I learnt to do that, when when he gets home, it's usually no more than a few minutes and then he comes back out. The second thing is, nothing is going on in their head. When we get overcomplicated and we analyze what they're thinking, what are they feeling, usually it's nothing. I'm not kidding. They do have this blank drawer in their brain that they can happily go into for a long period of time, and they're not feeling anything. It's nothing. Because actually, the three things that really keep men happy are very simple. It's not complicated. Gadgets, sex, and sport. My husband, if he has his cameras, his iPad, his photographic software that he can touch those photos up, I swear he can spend the entire day happy as a pig in mud. And he doesn't have to talk to anyone. He can just do that happily. If he's not doing that, he's off on his cycling from here to Sheko Beach, which is quite a long way down the south side of Hong Kong Island. Or he's training for whatever ultra marathon run he's going to do next. And he's happy. My best friend, one of my best friends, if her husband has his Chelsea matches and a whiskey in one hand, he's absolutely in heaven. And when my boys were little, all I needed to do was run them around, take them to the park, run them around, burn off that energy. Then when we come home, stick a Game Boy in their hand. And that was it. Job done. They were happy. Simple. And there's three things that my husband and boys have had to learn about women. Is this. Number one, talk to us. We're not expecting you to suddenly become these, beings that emote with emotion every second of the day. All you need to do, if something's wrong, just say, I'm a bit stressed at work today. I might be a bit quiet. Or just something, whatever. Talk to us, just so that we know that it's not about us. You still love us. It's just something else. And then maybe we can help and support you. The second thing, women need to vent. We want to vent. We want to let our emotions out. We might cry sometimes. It doesn't mean you have to fix things. I love it when men go into their practical way, got to solve the problem, got to fix it. We don't want that. All we want is you just to give us a hug and say, everything's going to be okay. Okay? You don't have to fix it. We love you for trying, but that's not what we want. We just want a hug. And then the last thing, sharing goes a long way. And that's, understanding that it's okay to be vulnerable sometimes, men. It doesn't mean you're not masculine. Just tell us, share with us when you need us. A bit of courage and strength for us. Because then we can take turns to be the strong one for a while. It doesn't mean you're any less of a man. You're still okay. Just sometimes share with us that you need some support. And it doesn't hurt to share with us every now and again that you still think we're beautiful and you still love us. That will keep us happy. That will give you mega brownie points, I promise. My husband still tells me that every second day. You look beautiful today. Gosh, you look nice. He tells me he loves me still all the time. And seriously, that goes such a long way. My husband and I, over the years, because we've been together so long, we've grown towards each other. We've sort of met in the middle, if you like. And those arguments have all gone away now. It's really lovely. I got that when he comes home, I don't just jump on him the second and just blah at him. I just give him a little bit of time and space. But if he's in there too long, I know to ask him, what are you stressed about? Are you okay? Actually, more often than not now, he's learnt to just tell me. Before I ask that question, he says, oh, darling, I've had a really tough day at work today. And so I then give him my support. I don't start becoming all needy and wondering what I've done wrong. That solves a lot of arguments. You know, it's incredible. We've met in the middle in a lot of ways. You know, I support his photography passion. I'm cheering him on for whatever training he has to do for his latest marathon race. The next one, I'm going to be in the support vehicle in Vietnam, following him as he's doing this massive cycling race in Vietnam. He does the same for me. I live and let live. What I mean by that is if I can be the happiest and healthiest person I can be and live my life to the best of my ability, then I'm only a better woman for him. And if he can be the happiest and healthiest he can be, then he's the best man for me. So, he's got his gadgets, he's got his sport. I know I've left one of those things out. Sex? Well, you know, if we're the happiest we can both be, we're the healthiest we can both be, we've eliminated all those needs for arguments, we get each other, we've met in the middle. What do you think? And are you kidding? Come on. He's so fit doing all those marathon racing training and all that. So, yeah, that's not bad between us as well. See you in the next video.